Well, hello everyone. I hope you all are having a great morning. We're finally here at the end of the 10 weeks, so thank you for coming. It really felt like a year's worth of accomplishment, and I really mean that. I mean, like, honestly, in my humble opinion, I mean, all the hard work, it really has felt like a year, but a really good, fast year. With that being said, if y'all can sit back, relax, and here's how it all started. So with me, I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Although I have been introduced as Kentron, he's from Virginia. This is Kentron, he's from Virginia. Misty, I know, okay, I'm messing with you. But in all fairness though, I do go to college there full time, specifically James Madison University. And I'm going to be spending another 10 months over there. So I guess I am pretty much a Virginian boy. I'm going to lose a little bit of my New Mexico elements, but maybe I'll get it back after I graduate. Who knows? Hopefully I don't end up with a Shenandoah accent. With a lot of my background will have a huge influence to how I approach my day-to-day tasks throughout this whole internship. So for one, I was once a congressional intern for our Congresswoman back in 2021. And then not too long ago, last semester of spring, I was a D1 candidate to the JMU cheerleading team. Didn't make the cut, but I became a stronger person since then. And no matter where I am, whether it be in New Mexico or Virginia, I love talking on the camera, as you can't tell already. I mean, I will strongly recommend Greystar, the internship, no matter what the student is from UNM of New Mexico or JMU of Virginia, I'll strongly recommend it. So with this whole internship program, it really is an audition. You're finding what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like. And if you look the part, and if you do look the part, then you ought to execute it to the fullest of your ability. But if you don't know what you want, then that's perfectly okay, because what this internship provides you is a mentor. And I really want to commemorate Adrienne, and she's done an amazing job. I really want to thank her for such wisdom and strength. I mean, along with Bobby, hearing them both, what they've given to me, it really was a big blessing. Like, this isn't, like, a lot of internships will throw their interns point blank, hope for the best. No, this internship sets you up for success. And this is why I said consultation. You grow as you go in this 10 weeks. And I really found what I want to do with Greystar. That feeling is kind of like how Senator Brown felt back in this US Senate race in Massachusetts. And if Senator Brown was here right now, I'm sure he would raise his magazine, he did it. Because quite frankly, I did do it. What did I learn? The question, what did you learn, is a very hard question to answer. Like, there was personal growth within my personal life, as in, no matter what car you drive, if your house can carry 3 Lamborghinis, or what your bank account looks like, but you're not a good person till you treat others kind. But I don't think that answer is necessarily relevant to this Capstone project, as true as it sounds. So if it's more towards professionalism, then I guess it would be, for one, documentation is everything. I mean, it's better to over-document than to not under-document. I'm sure Cece, Justin, and Kathleen, and I'm sure all y'all can vouch for me for that. So that's for one. And then you can never be fully prepared for what may come at you within this industry. The unexpected phone calls, the unexpected walk-in tours, the reports that you have to meet by the deadline, and then the, oh my gosh, incident report, what do we do? So it's okay that you're never fully prepared because it's out of your control. And then last but not least, one thing is that change of perspective is everything. And I really want to thank every single one of you all for never ever putting a mask on, even when I'm around, because that's how I can really get the true taste of this whole movie. Because I always wonder, how come the maintenance team goes in and out? What are they doing? But then on maintenance week, I was like, oh, I see why we have to come in and out. I wonder why Misty's always going in and out hearing the phone calls, but after being with her, then I can finally understand why it's not fun dealing with those phone calls and turning in those reports. So, and I guess in one Capstone project, after everything I got, is that I do have a money-making pitch idea. But since I'm going on public YouTube, it'd be best that I remain quiet, plead the fifth, until I'm with corporate so that idea can be safe and secure. And I found a role that I can be best perform at. I really found what I really want to do with this Greystar company. And I really want to thank Mr. Robert Rodriguez, if you're watching, sir. Thank you for being willing to advocate for me. Hopefully we can make this position a reality. Until then, let's continue. So with Leasing Professional, I remember adjusting to that 40-hour work week was super difficult. But since I didn't have time to ask for the Leasing Professional at Cantata de Trails to mention her name, I'll just decide to remain that silent. However, she is compassionate, thick-skinned, and very professional. And it's really hard to have all those traits as a leasing professional. Because I say this, it's because first impressions matter. They're much more than a receptionist, because they're the first office you see once coming into the door, and we have to make prospects feel welcome. Now, I definitely had a picture of Senator Ernst doing a press conference, and being with these politicians, they don't always answer questions straightforwardly. I mean, Kathleen and I had this conversation before. They just don't. But with this industry, you have to answer questions smart. Is this a safe neighborhood? Oh my gosh, okay. But I was definitely pronounced to be like, well, criminals don't discriminate zip code. If you would like, you can go on www.com to find the statistics. But in the meantime, all I can say is that every current resident has gone through a background check. Now, ain't that smooth versus answering yes or no, because not everything is black and white in this industry. It's not. And I really want to call one thing out, and yes, I did get permission from my first client, Chalmer Torres. Closing that very first deal, that thrill of that handshake was kept me going every single day. Okay, so with assistant managers, so I really thought about being a lawyer a lot in my life, right? Along with being a detective, whenever a resident just moves out, you have to see if there's any messes, damages, and then even after a make ready, you have to walk it one more time at least. And while I was doing that in an assistant manager week, I really felt like a lawyer/detective. You investigate, you take pictures, you see what's going on, you document, right? And if I were want to continue on that activity, maybe I should be an assistant manager. That way it can save me law school money. Who knows? But the most important thing is balance. I think this is what is so important with the assistant manager. They keep the needs of a property manager and they keep the needs of a leasing professional all together. If without the assistant manager, it will all fall apart. That is why I have shapes. Each shape has their own role. But here, as the assistant manager, is what keeps it light. And I didn't even need to have words. I just want the picture to speak for itself. Okay, so with the maintenance team. So before I go on to that, if I were to learn one thing from my cheerleading campaign, was to never ever be afraid of trying something new. And what I mean by that is that I never had any of that fields of knowledge. I specifically don't. It just, whoa. But, so Misty and I negotiated with Justin. Can we try to escape it? Okay, we compromised to 1 week. Okay, instead of 2 weeks, it's 1 week. But however, as soon as I still wasn't looking forward at that time with that 1 week, but as soon as I made from that jump to that cliff, to that jump, I was like, baby, let's make it 2 weeks then now. It was really great learning something, and I really felt like a whole new me, finding something that I never found of myself. And of course, I don't have a license to be an electrician, neither am I certified to be a plumber or a maintenance person. So the only thing I can do is to be a cheerleader for them. So sure, I may never be a cheerleader in the football fields or in the basketball courts ever, but I can always ever choose to cheer on site if Greystar gives me the opportunity to do so again. Okay, so with community manager, okay. So I've done fencing for almost all of my sports career life, okay? And I can definitely attest that it takes a lot of strategy and you can never know what's going to happen. But it's always good to be unpredictable. And seeing Misty, it really reminds me of fencing. Because if you're on guard, that's great, but if you're not, then too bad. The obstacles are still going to come at you regardless. Do you really think your fencing opponent is going to tell you what their strategies and plans are? No. So what makes you think that the universe will allow the property managers to predict what goes on to the day-to-day tasks? And so when I see Misty dealing with the unexpected phone calls, unexpected walking tours, the unexpected incident reports, she's very calm and collected with all those great, like she's almost a great fencer, to tell you the truth. She really is. But when she takes off that mask, we all have to remember she's also human. Seeing the bruises, the scratches, the blood. It reminds me of this superhero right here. And sure, you can't make every resident happy, but Batman has haters, Superman has haters, Spider-Man has haters, Iron Man has haters. But no matter how much that carries, that will never take away from the fact that they're superheroes. Just like it would never take away from the fact that Misty is a hero to the community. Because each property has their own needs. Adrian of Circle Apartments, Misty of Cantata at the Trails, Tina of Skystone, Chris of Aya. But what's so beautiful is that they all come together during budget boot camp. And it reminded me of study group during college of finals week. It's all stressful, we all come together, we study at the library, just like them during budget boot camp. Didn't know that something from college would still overlap. And yet, they still get it done, and I've learned reports matter, budget reports matter. And I'm like, whoa, I do not like this. I do not like this. But data is treasure. Data is very much treasure. Sure, it'll take a lot of digging, lots of all that dirt that you have to get out of your way, but at the end, it's worth it. But let's not forget that every property manager is a hero to their community. Okay, so regional manager. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say with this one. Because it's very similar when I was interning for the Congresswoman. I was chatting with the field representative at the time. Being with Justin and the field representative have in common is that there's so much traveling and lots of phone calls. I've never seen Justin calling on the phone, but since I'm no longer with the Congresswoman, so I can say this. I mean, I saw the field representative texting and driving. I don't recommend it, but it kind of gave me the influence, but I never saw that with Justin, so we're not going to talk there. He can plead the fifth if he wants. But it's very similar, and there's a lot of time to plan. There's lots of phones, lots of networking. And I really enjoy traveling, and from what I've got is that instead of blaming things for not being done, he asks for solutions, he offers solutions rather than to blame. And this is what makes me want to look up to it, as in like, this is no matter what, this is how it should be done. And so, if I were ever to be a regional manager, okay, so I love German cars, I'm a huge German car enthusiast, but if I were ever to be his position, I'm picking a Toyota over a BMW. Let's be real here, because gas is not cheap. Gas is not cheap. So I'll take the Toyota any day. But all I can say is that it was really great, and maybe it is good too. Boom, 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 all the time. Who knows? So with investment, if I were to be a Greystar intern again, if I have such opportunity, I'll probably maybe on the investment side, because I love stock market trading. I love to have more assets than liability. Even though I do like German cars. No, okay, just kidding. But I do love assets, and I heard the owner Nicholas a lot, but I don't necessarily know what does he do, what's behind him. So maybe one day I can find an opportunity to see behind the scenes. And then it was a bummer that I didn't get to see Bob Vates' seminar. I really didn't. However, what if it is a sign of an opportunity where I would one day do something big just to get his attention, just like Senator Scott Brown won his Massachusetts race back in 2010. Who knows? But until then, I just want to say that I know a lot of us may feel disappointed, I do too, that I wish I had more time to do what I wanted to do but didn't get done. But just know that it's only just the beginning. And so, as of right now, I just wish every single one of y'all, whether you're watching in person or virtually, to have a great life. Hopefully that if I have the opportunity to come back, I come back so soon in some shape or form. But until then, I really want y'all to keep on working hard, and I would do my best to not cry, you know? But until then, have a great life.
Thank you.
Aww.
That was awesome.
Hey.
Nailed it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is like Shark Tank, and we just bought your stuff.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I have the chills. Really good. Really
Appreciate it.
good.
Question.
Oh.
I'm not sure if you can hear me on my end.
Yes, sir.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.